Welcome back. A lot of people think when a vehicle fails a smog inspection, replacing the catalytic converter will fix the problem. But our next guest says smog failures have nothing to do with the catalytic converter often. Brian Bowersock with West Escondido Auto is here again. Welcome. Thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here again, Greg.
All right, so for people who don't know, tell us, what is a catalytic converter?
Catalytic converter is actually a reaction that takes place in the exhaust. It's a component put in the exhaust, and it's there to reduce three emissions. That's CO, hydrocarbons.
Carbon dioxide.
Yeah,
okay.
Hydrocarbons, and then NOx, which is nitrogen oxide, which is the gray haze you see floating over Los Angeles. That's NOx.
Gotcha. Okay, so you say that it's a misconception that if the vehicle fails smog, that it's automatically the catalytic converter.
A lot of folks are told by people often, because the name sticks in people's heads, oh, your car failed smog, put a catalyst on it. That'll fix the car and make it pass smog. The problem that we're seeing with that, and we have to educate a lot of folks about, is catalysts fail because something else on the engine, the vehicle's been out of fuel control, misfires, things like that, cause the catalyst substrate to fail from excess fuel going into it.
So, and a lot of people say that it smells like rotten eggs if your catalytic converter is either failing or has failed.
Well, if you continue, what you're smelling when it smells like rotten eggs is actually excess fuel getting in there. The catalyst is getting extremely hot, and it produces that smell. It cannot burn off all that fuel, so it produces that smell that you get a rotten eggs. If you get a rotten egg smell, there's something going wrong with the vehicle that's causing it to dump excess fuel into the exhaust, and that needs to be addressed. Could the catalyst be damaged? Absolutely. If you drive the vehicle long enough that way, it will be. But if you catch it, get it taken care of, a lot of times catalysts can survive something like that.
So it may not be the catalytic converter that's going bad, but it may be something that's causing it to go bad, and you need to take it to your mechanic to fix that problem.
Correct. Typically, something else on the engine, misfire. We have some bad plug wires here. Misfires from the ignition system, bad fuel ratio from the bad oxygen sensor.
Okay.
Things like that going bad on the motor cause the motor to fall out of what we call fuel control, which allows excess fuel to be put in, which does not burn and goes into the exhaust. And that's what causes failures on a catalyst.
And it's really easy to test if you go to the right mechanic.
Correct, absolutely. And we have been educating a lot of people since the first of the year here. Laws changed on catalytic converters. The catalysts that were being made and sold were not regulated in the state of California. They have now changed the law. The catalyst must be certified for the vehicle. It must be the correct catalyst. And they're all numbered and have to be installed properly in order for the car to pass smog with that catalyst on it.
And we were talking earlier, the primary reason the law changed is because there were a lot of bad catalytic converters being sold, a lot of remanufactured ones, and they just weren't working correctly.
Folks were using remanufactured converters. They were out there remanufacturing them. New ones that were of sub-quality, they were a lot cheaper because catalysts consist of precious metals that are put into it to produce the catalyst process. The less metals you use, the cheaper you can make the catalyst. Now they have regulations on all that in California.
And the new law, it's making the catalytic converters a little more expensive, but overall it's a good thing.
It's a better quality. They now come with a 5-year, 50,000-mile warranty too, which is required in California when replaced. So you're getting a lot better quality product that will last as long as the engine is kept in control.
What's the typical lifetime of a catalytic converter?
Catalysts typically will last the length of the vehicle, over 200,000 miles. They do wear out over time, but you'll get a lot of mileage out of them if the consumer keeps the vehicle in good running order and maintained properly.
Bottom line, what should people do if they're told they've failed smog and they need a new catalytic converter?
Number one, forget about that. Take it to somebody such as our facility or another facility that's qualified in testing the vehicle, finding out what the failed smog problem is, and doing all the tests. There are tests that we run on catalyst, such as an intrusive test, which we test what's going in, what's coming out, and a CO2 cranking test to determine is the catalyst working or not.
All right, got to pick the right mechanic. Brian Bowersock with West Escondido Auto, thank you so much.
Glad to be here.
Good to have you back. And of course, for more information, always go to our website, san diego6.com.